What's up, everybody? Wade with Swamp Donkey Archery. Do something a little bit different today. I'm going to try to show you kind of a quick how-to. I build my bowstrings. I make my own custom strings here in my shop. Call them Donkeythreadz. I use this material here. It's Bloodline 99. Man, I'm not going to try to make a big deal out of this Bloodline on this video, but I'm telling y'all, this some super good stuff. If y'all don't know about Bloodline, you need to go check them out. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what I do, how I lay out my strings, you know, and stuff like that. I'm not going to show you exactly step by step the whole process. Going to try to keep it a little shorter video. I just want to give you a kind of a quick how-to on it. If it's something y'all want to see me do, get a little bit more detailed into it, hit me up in the comments down there. Let me know. So yeah, you were wondering how I do what I do, it's coming up. Alright, so first thing you got to do is, well, first thing is you got to have a jig layout. But this is my jig layout. I've built this myself, not a whole lot to it. A piece of unistrut, some of the like unistrut connectors, couple of 3/8 by, I want to say these were about 10-inch bolts, and I cut them off. So not getting into a whole lot of how I done that, but to start off, you're gonna measure how long you want your string to be. I'm gonna build this one 33 7/8 because I need my this is actually a control cable. It needs to be 33 3/4, so I'm making it a little bit long to allow for the twist and for the stretch. So I'm on 3-color this one. I'm gonna do a pinstripe in the middle. So I'm gonna lay out 12 strands of this. I'm going to lay out 12 strands of this, and I'm going to do two of this. This is going to go in the middle. So how I start it is I get over here on one end, I wrap it about 3 or 4 times around, then I wrap the tag in 3 or 4 times around, and I just got some duct tape on here to kind of hold it steady. Then some people count different. They count, you know, individual rounds. I count strands. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna do that till I get to 12. Okay, so that was 11. This is 12. So now I'm gonna bring it around to this next post here. I'm gonna wrap it around my post 3 or 4 times. A little slack over here, we're going to cut it off. This is where we're going to end this one. Pull it through, kind of same thing. Wrap my tag in around a little. Pull the duct tape on it. Can't fix it, duck it, right? Alright, so the next that goes on is my pinstripe. Same thing. Put the pinstripe on here. 3 or 4 rounds. Wrap tag in around. I left a little tab on my duct tape to where I could put it under the same one. Alright, so I'm going to go 4 strands on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to tie this one off. 1, 2, 3. Cut it. Do this. So now I'm starting with my next color. It's gonna be emerald green, so we're starting on this end. Same thing. Wrap it around the post a few times. Wrap tag in around. The reason I'm wrapping the tag in around is you don't want it slipping whenever you're laying it out. And you have to be really careful, especially on these homemade ones, that you know you don't have a whole lot of stiffness. That you don't. Where I started messing up is I would wrap the bottom kind of loose, and then the top I would, maybe pull a little bit tighter as I was going around. And what that would wind up doing is closing these in ever so bit. So you'd have the bottom strands actually shorter than, or longer than, top strands, and that would cause severe peep rotation. It wasn't that big of a deal on cables, but on string, severe peep rotation. That was pretty bad. So gonna lay this out, like I said, 12 strands, and we'll come back. Okay, so we got my 12 strands of blue, 4 strands of black, 12 strands of green. So what I'm going to do now you'll see the reason why I have a 4-post jig rather than a 2-post jig. Some people kind of serve in their end loops using the string material. I don't like doing that. I like using actual serving material for that. This is 8 thousandths BCY Spectra. That's what I like using for my end loops. So I'm going to get these turned to where we can serve in these end loops there. Okay, I'm going to try to get this to where y'all can see it. I have my post set up 12 inches across, so I'm going to measure to 5 and 7, because I like to put about 2 inches of serving in the middle here. So measure 5 to 7, and I'm going to start on the right side at 7 inches, and we're going to serve the other side to 5. So the way I start my serving loop on this is I stick it through the middle. I just tie me a little simple knot. Then I'm going to put this at 7 inches. I used to take a little marker and put a black mark on the string, but it got to where sometime that black mark would bleed through, and I didn't like that. So we're setting it at 7, maybe just a touch over 7, not really that particular on this one. So then we're just going to wrap it once, twice. I'm going to tighten this tension down just a little bit. We're going to pull on the tag end, laying the tag end down. We're going to serve over that tag end. Try to keep my big fingers out the way. I don't have a particular number of rounds that I go before I pull the tag end out. I'll just run it down till I feel good with it. About right here. Then I'll pull the tag end back here out of the way and continue serving till I get down to 5 inches. And I'm basically at my 5 inches now. So now I'm going to do what you call a back serve. Pull it over. See, I went over the string, we're under it, and then I continue to flip this the same direction I was serving. And I do this about 10 times. And being I wasn't counting, I don't know if that was 10 or not. But then I pull it out, and we're going to wrap it around this over here. Get this out of the way. And basically what we're doing, we're transferring these wraps to over here. So now, sorry, I know my hand's in the way. Let me try to do it this way. Maybe y'all can see it. See how it's unrolling here and it's going over there. Try to keep it as tight as you can. One more. All right, so now we got all the strands here. Then I'll pull on my slack, and that's where you gotta be careful because you can cut your fingers pretty good with this stuff. So I'll take it, wrap it around, pull it tight. Then I'm gonna cut this excess off. Do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll get to the stretching, twisting stuff. All right, one thing I forgot to mention while I'm still on this end is what I do with the tag ends. We laid out from the green, untwist it. And I only do this on one side. Some people, cut off all your tag ends. I'll take one side and I will tie a half hitch in it. I just do it on one side. That way if something happens and the string tries to unravel, at least we got something holding it on one end, keep it from totally coming undone. So undo it, pull it around. Get it down there to the serving, half hitch, suck it down tight, and cut the excess off. Being very careful not to cut these strings. Okay, so now I'm gonna lay it out on my stretcher twister. Like I said, I've pretty much homemade all my stuff, so you can see I don't have anything really really spectacular, but my stuff works. So still on a piece of unistrut, got me a little bracket here, one of these little hook bolts. That's a turnbuckle, and I've got my string laid from this turnbuckle. Down here, this is one of these little digital scales. Game Winner, you can get this from Academy for, I don't know, 30-40 bucks, something like that, not real sure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to separate my colors into 3 different bundles. We're going to separate the pin on the outside, and then we're going to have the blue and the green, and I'm going to separate it with some of these old cut off pieces of errors that I have. So separate your colors before you twist them. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my pinstripes separated here. Got like a top and bottom pin. Hope y'all can see that. Then I've got my green and my blue separated as well. So like that on both ends. I'm going to start with just a little bit of tension to start twisting. Because as you start twisting, it's going to tension up a little bit. I don't like to twist at full tension. And I'll also, a little tip that I found is I will put a little scrap piece of string in between the pinstripe and the main colors. That way, if your pinstripe does get pinched in between the 2 colors, you can run this down it and pull the pinstripe out. Here we go. We're fixing to give it some twists. This is where all them guys that's got them fancy stretching, twisting machines really start shining, because that stuff really helps out a whole lot. When I get me enough money one day, I'll have one of them fancy little machines too. But until then, we'll be doing it with this right here. So I'll get a few twists in it, 10 or 12, something like that. Then I'll come down here to the far end and I'll pull out my little tabs. I'll give it a few more twists. Then I come to this end and I'll pull my little separators out here. I'll give it a few more twists. Now, when it comes to checking your measurements on this, so when I measured this one, pulled it off the bow and actually measured it, you know, just hanging it on something, putting a tape measure on it, and measured it out. So when I measured it out, it measured to 33 3/4. So I'm fixing to measure it, and right now is on exactly 33 3/4. Now I'm going to turn the scale on here, and well, can't see it. So I'm going to turn the scale on, we zero it out. I'm going to tension this up till I get my 300 pounds on it. We're going to stretch this at 300 pounds. Let me get my wrench. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stretch it, I'm going to tighten it down to 300. Popping down here, just make sure everything's tight, which I think it is. It's just, yeah, we're good. So before I put the full 300 on it, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run down this pinstripe, kind of even it up, like, see if I can show you on, like this right here. I'm going to get this string. So all we're doing is just pulling this through, making sure this pinstripe is separated from the main colors. Like right here. Hopefully you can see it's like kind of separated there. That's what I got this in there for. See how I pulled it back together like that? Same thing on this side. But once I get up here to this end, I'm not really worried about them being separated really close to the end there, because that's going to be covered up by end serving anyway. So then I'll do this one, same thing, run it down, kind of pull it up out of the way. And now that I got the pinstripe pulled out, now I'm going to put my 300 pounds on it. And what I'll do, I'll tighten this down till I got 300 pounds. 290. There we go, 308. So, if you look at the scale here, we got 302, but you can see how the numbers are dropping down. So what I'll do, I'm going to let this drop down to about 280, 285. Then I'm going to hit this again, and we're going to tighten it down a little more. It's going to pull a little more stretch out, and it'll only drop down to about 290 to 293. And then I'll hit it one more time, and then that'll usually stay. So we're going to do that, and then whenever I get it stretched in, then I'll show you how to serve them in. So one thing that I like to do while I've got a little bit of tension on it, while it's stretching out, I'll take a piece of the string, and I will like double wrap it around the string itself, and I'm just going to pull it all the way down once, maybe twice, and what that's doing, that's compacting that bundle down nice and tight. Now with other string manufacturers that use the waxy type residue on it, you would do this to pull extra wax off and to, you call it brandishing. So you'd pull the extra wax off and compact it. But with this bloodline material, there's no waxy substance to pull off. So you just give it one, maybe two little runs, and it compacts them down real nice and neat. Makes good, pretty slick surface to it. Okay, so we're stretched good now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remeasure. Now we stretched it, I expect it to stretch usually about 1/4 of an inch, which it did. So you'll add a few more wraps. So I added about 10 more wraps to it, or twists, and that should got me right about where I need to be. I'm going to do about 3 more. And that is it. 33 3/4. So now I'm just going to serve in the distance that I wrote down, which I did that whenever I measured it. We got one end we're going to have to serve 10 inches on. One end we're going to do 5 3/4, and then this is going to be done. So yeah, I'm going to end this about right here, because I'm not going to bore y'all watching me serve it in with this stuff right here. So if y'all got any questions, hit me up down there in the comments. Give me a thumbs up and a follow. Help me get my sub count up. I need to get that going. So yeah, it's Wade with Swamp Donkey Archery, Swamp Donkey Outdoors. Y'all have a good one.